I was asked to review the discus throw of a high school thrower on the left here, so I decided to compare it to Robert Harding on the right, the Olympic gold medalist in the discus. So let's take a look. Starting out at this position here, they're both facing 3 o'clock. The left arm is toward 3. The discus is pointing toward the camera at 9. They're both in pretty much the same position. So I'm going to rotate the view a little bit more till we get the discus back here to 6, left arm at 12. We'll see where we're at. Get Robert Harding in the same position right about here. Okay, so you can see the thrower on the left has the discus quite a bit lower, and also you can see this bend in the wrist, and you can see on Robert Harding's got the discus palm forward. He's holding it up. He's got his left arm horizontal like she does. That looks pretty good. You can see that her body position is a lot more vertical. You can see how Robert Harding's is. He's got this forward C position where he's bent at the hips forward. That'll allow him to turn around that left foot and left leg axis, where she might tend to fall backwards into the circle. So let's move the slide a little, or the video a little bit farther along till the left arm is pointing to 9. Right here. You can see how she's now starting to fall into the circle. Let's get Robert Harding in the same position. So now the yeah, you can see still the Robert Harding's got this bend at the hips forward, and you can see how she's actually starting to fall backwards a little bit. You can see how her left foot too, she pulled it in. Let me try to go back a little bit. Watch the left foot. See how she dragged it across the line? That foot should stay where it's at. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next position where I'm going to put the left arm to 6 o'clock on both of the throwers. Right here for Robert Harding. And right here for our high school thrower. Okay, here you can see that Robert Harding's got a much more vertical position. Here's the left hip. You see the left shoulders are slightly forward. His shoulders are level. You can see how our high school thrower, the shoulders are actually facing angled downward. And left leg has come off really late here too, it looks like. Her knee hasn't turned fast enough either. She should keep that left arm with the left knee. So let's see what happened here. Oh, it's probably because she slid it rather than turning it. Lost a little bit. Should be right about there. Let me put her a little bit farther forward to kind of match where the right leg is. Okay, so you see what happens here is her right foot's up. You're going to see it continue to go up. See that? Kind of kicked it upward. What'll happen there is the throwers will tend to drop the shoulders then as a reaction to that. So you don't want to get that foot too high. You want to keep it down here below the knee. And Robert Harding's starting to straighten his out already and come around like he's kicking like the shape of a bottom of a cone wide, where her right leg is going to kick right here. It's top of the thigh is facing forward. And Robert Harding, you'll see he's facing the inner thigh. He can do that because the foot is pointing with the toe upward, so he's kicking with the inside of the foot, the instep, and also the inside of the thigh, where she's leading with the top of her thigh. She's just going to kick straight in. You can see the foot's pointing downward rather than up. Robert Harding's left knee, you can see, is quite a bit lower. See, she hasn't quite got that down yet, where the knee would drop down. Okay. So that's pretty much this position here. We've now getting the left arm out to about 3 o'clock. Okay, right here. Yeah, you can see her right leg is way behind. Knee is not bent down as much. The right leg. Let's get to the position where right leg's in front a little bit. Yeah, she's not really driving, and at this point she should have the leg straightened out and then bend it right here, bend it again to shorten it, but she's keeping it straight, and she's going to land on a straight leg right there. It's pretty straight. I'll show you Robert Harding's leg, see how bent it is when he lands. You can see the bend here. It's quite a bit. Okay, so this angle here of the shin should match the body angle, which it does perfectly in Robert Harding. You can see her shin angle and her body angle. Her body's a little more vertical. Let's see right about here. Get him in about the same position. That's not too bad. Her head's back. Her head should be in line, neutral with the spine. You can see how Robert Harding's got it from his head to his foot in a straight line. She's kind of got this little arch going on, it looks like, in the back. She's got a flat foot here, so the heel's down. Heel should be up on the right foot so that you can rotate quickly. Left arm. In this position here, the left arm should be out here about 12 o'clock like you see with Robert Harding. The arm should be 180 degrees. The discus should be up at the high point. Let's see what she did with the discus as she came in. So she started with the too high here. Let's go back to where Robert Harding comes in. You can see it's low from Robert Harding, below his shoulder, and she's carrying it quite a bit higher. Let's watch Robert Harding as he brings the discus up to the high point there. You see now it's even with the shoulder. In order to do that, you got to start with it low, below the shoulder, so you can bring it up. Okay, now let's watch the high schooler again as they come in. That's too high. Started too low here, brought it up high, brought it down low, and brought it up higher. High points over here somewhere about 3 o'clock. So it's neat to hit it right there. She's kind of stepping into the ring too. There's no really flight time. See, she's just both feet are pretty much on the ground right at this point. Let's watch Robert Harding as he pushes off right there. You can see both feet are in the air. He's got time to hook his foot back as much as he can, which throws his hips back to the front. Okay. Right here, this is very important. You want to make sure this leg, the left foot pushes off. You got a high heel, so he's got full push off there. You want to also make sure this left shin is horizontal. The foot's going to be below the knee, but you want to make sure that's horizontal and bent here so that it turns quickly. Not like this that you see on our high schooler. It's a straight leg. The foot's over rotated too. You see Robert Harding's foot. When it comes off, it's pointing toward the left sector line or toward the throwing direction, which is over here. Okay, it's very quick. It's just very quick, and so you can keep it bent. You can see how she's trying to stay on there way too long. Lets the foot rotate. The foot's actually pointing backwards at this point, back to 12 o'clock. That's way too late. Okay, so the time in the air is the time you want to get the hips turned around. You're trying to get the lower body turned to stay ahead of the upper body. You can see this point right here. The discus is caught up. The discus should be behind that shoulder, and also that shoulder should be behind that hip. So she's lost all separation there. Let's take a look at Robert Harding so we can see it. Right about here. Okay, you see the right hip is here, the shoulder's behind it. Then we can see the discus is behind the shoulder. So he's got good separation there. He's pulling the discus from behind. So in this position here, you'll see actually both hands will be behind his shoulders, right about there. See it? Okay, let's watch our throw over here. She's pretty much got almost the same position, but doesn't quite get that farther behind the shoulder here. right there. Not quite behind her. So you'll get the feeling that both arms are behind you. The chest is driving forward a little bit. Right there, just a little bit driving forward with the chest. Then it turns. The lower body is going to lead it. So the lower body is moving faster than the upper body at this point, as both feet are in the air. Okay, and see he's turned the right foot. He's rotated it just as it lands right there. It's facing a little bit between 2 and 3 o'clock. You can see where the left foot is. The left foot's about 9 o'clock right here, facing the camera. Let's see where our high schooler is with the left foot when the right foot lands. The right foot lands right about there. Right about there. Yeah, you can see how far the left foot's still way behind. Okay. So let's see where we're at in this position right here. Okay. It's another cue for us here. We want to get the discus about 6 o'clock. Left arm or left elbow, shoulders facing 12 o'clock. So let's get her in that same position. Right about there. Okay, the right foot is facing 12. You can see her shoulders have already opened up too much. The left leg is too slow. It should already start to land. She didn't land even to the middle of the circle. She didn't have that drive because the left knee was too high. She wasn't driving in. She just kind of rotated in. You can see how she landed right. Here's about the middle where this pole is on the fence. And her foot didn't even make it that far. Let's watch Robert Harding's foot land. You can see the white lines here. That's the center of the circle. And you see he lands his right foot right at it, a little bit past. So what's going to happen there is his left foot's going to land close to the outside of the circle, right on it. Of course, he's probably a lot taller than this the high schooler. Let's see where her left foot lands. Left foot landed right here. Here's the end of the circle right here. So she's lost quite maybe 3 feet in distance just from having a left foot land too short, or the right foot landing too short, and then the left foot landing too short. Okay, let's take a look at the left foot landing right here, and Robert Harding's is right there. Okay, this isn't quite, looking sideways from the 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. It's angled a little bit off, but his feet look like they should be with the left foot behind the right, so in proper heel-toe alignment. But for her, for sure, you can see that the left foot has landed too far to the right of her right foot. That left foot should be behind her. Let's take a look again. Right there. You can see it landed too soon. She didn't get enough rotation out of it. She would have more rotation if this heel was higher and that the shin was horizontal, so it can get around. Her momentum, the speed's totally gone. She's pretty much just setting the foot down. Having that right heel down's not helping either, so she's not rotating. Cue I like to look for right here is when the foot is pointing 9 o'clock and the heel is at 3 o'clock. You want that discus behind the right heel. You can see how she lost separation. The discus way over here already past it too, so it's not really behind her. The another big problem is see how this left foot landed. In terms of the throwing direction, it's landed actually parallel to it, so she will not be able to get her hip turned around. And because the left foot is too far to the right, she's going to end up having to jump in the air. There she goes. It's a good release, though. The discus flies not too bad. A little bit of a wobble, but not too bad out of her hand. She throws it pretty much in line. So we got the right foot landing on the toe, drop the heel, which sets her backwards without rotating. Stopped rotating, so the left foot lands too soon. Not keeping it didn't do really a good wrap there, so the shoulders are opened up too soon. Right here, she's got the hips and the shoulders both facing 12. If you go back to Robert Harding, you can see when he lands his right foot at facing 12, his shoulders are actually facing to the 3 o'clock direction, out that way. So he's got 45 degrees of wrap between and separation between his shoulders and his hips. So Robert Harding goes left foot, left toe down, left heel down, keeps the right knee bent, rotates into it. Let's see how much we can see with our high school thrower. Left toe down, left heel down, and then the right hip never quite gets around. Oh, there's she's got a turn there. Looks good. She's bending the knee. She's rotating. That left foot sideways. We can't see it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to have to rotate at this point in order to face the throwing direction, or she'll never get that right hip forward. The angle right here, this left arm should be facing 12 and then actually down. Let's go back to where Robert Harding is. See how it's down here? That he's setting the angle up here. She's a little vertical here. Well, the shin seems to match, but that's because the leg's probably not bent enough. She probably should be bent over more. You can see how far his shin is on Robert Harding compared to hers. And the left arm almost goes around horizontal. Oh, it actually goes up. Yeah, there, it's rising. You want to keep it in the same orbit. From right here, you want the left arm to go from here to here. Let's watch Robert Harding's left arm from here. It's pretty much going to go where the discus is right now. It's setting up the angle. See that? So the discus is there. The left arm's going to replace it, and then the discus is going to replace that. So you see that angle 3 times. The discus hits it, the left arm hits it, or left elbow in this case, and then the discus is going to hit the same angle. So that's very important. You get the high point, get the left arm up, and get the discus follow through. We'll see what happens here with her left arm. First, she just can get the discus up to the throwing angle. Then the left arm rises and then comes down. So she never really gets it up at that throwing angle either. But she gets the release, not too bad. Looks like she kind of leans forward a little bit at the throw. Can't really see it. That Nike bag's in a way. So that looks like, till we get another video, a little bit clearer shot, that's about all I can analyze on this throw.